Hello everybody and welcome back to Paranorms. Today we're going to pick up where we left off with UFOs, and in particular we'll be taking a brief but informative glance at the topic that many refer to in the New Age movement as UFO mythology, not the study of UFOs like ufology and whether or not they exist, but rather the extensive mythos and lore that have arisen around their supposed origins, such as who are the extraterrestrials, where do they come from, and what are their motivations. While this is absolutely not a definitive list of all the encountered species of supposed aliens, we're going to take a look at some of the most commonly and generally discussed entities. So let's take a look at what we know. But before we get started, let's get this out of the way. One of the most common questions that is oftentimes posited in these types of conversations is usually, if there's such thing as these alien life forms, why is it that they're always depicted as humanoid? The chances of such an evolutionary similarity are almost non-existent. How could something that evolved billions and billions of light years away have the same structural anatomy as mankind? Well, according to most general accounts of UFO mythology, there was a progenitor race a long time ago, some kind of Promethean-like race, if you will, and they had achieved a technological singularity of some kind, or some kind of ascension beyond what we understand as reality. They got so advanced, they decided to leave this universe or dimensional reality. Before they left, though, they dispersed their own building blocks of life across the universe. Many say in the form of comets, and these comets ended up seeding life in many places through a process known as panspermia. So the reason ETs all look alike is because we supposedly hail from a common ancestor. Boom. There you go. Arguably, the most famous depiction of an extraterrestrial is in the form of what we now refer to in popular media as the Greys. Large heads, gray to green skin, almond-shaped black eyes, and short, frail-looking bodies, described as anywhere from 2 to 5 feet tall, and are said to possess the power of telepathy, in which they use as their primary means of communication. They're oftentimes referred to as the Zeta Reticulans, as they're said to have originated from Zeta Reticuli, a wide binary star system in the constellation Reticulum, Latin for small net. This interpretation is based on the 1961 Betty and Barney Hill abduction scenario, in which a couple was supposedly abducted by said entities and shown a star map of their origins. Their motivations are unclear, however they seem to be primarily interested in scientific experimentation involving life on Earth, hence their constant presence in abduction and contact scenarios. Another lesser-known but very influential race of ETs was said to be the Martians, or as they're sometimes referred to, the Atlanteans, pale white humanoids with bleach-white hair who originally developed on the planet Mars, their skin tone being a direct result of their distance from the sun. Said to be a very technologically advanced race, but in a different way than what we're accustomed to. They were able to build great temples and structures, hence the Cydonia region on Mars appearing to be a religious site of sorts to some. This is also the site of the famous face on Mars. They were said to have experienced a great cataclysm some hundreds of millions of years ago, and many actually say that there is evidence of some disastrous event having destroyed Mars's once habitable atmosphere. Many were able to flee their dying world and came here to Earth, and are one of the supposed candidates for the ancient aliens theory, as they showed a primitive mankind how to build and create. Where did they go? Well, some say they simply left or interbred with mankind and are still in fact here today. One of the most well-recognized, though often not as popularly depicted, are the Pleiadians, or the Nordic aliens, said to originate from the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters, a hot blue, extremely bright open star cluster in the constellation Taurus. They're described as taller than 6 to 7 feet, resembling Nordic Scandinavian folk, with long blonde hair, blue eyes, excellent physique, and fair skin. They're said to be extremely benevolent, almost angelic as some have described, and they're oftentimes referred to as our space brothers. Their supposed mission is to travel the cosmos and ascend all races both technologically and spiritually, and are making their way towards us to one day ascend us higher. A notable mention here is Ashtar Command, or the Galactic Federation of Light, as some call it, the name of this whole movement. Ashtar being the leader of it all, an all-knowing, all-loving being. So there we have it. A brief and incredibly broad look at the world of UFO mythology, but there's another race that is indeed worth mentioning here, so much so that they're gonna need their own entire episode. I'm even considering dedicating an entire episode of Insomnia just to them. The Reptilians and their sinister agenda. So, stick around. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, like always, got anything to add in the comments? Definitely let me hear all about it. Hope to see you next time.